Hello, and thank you for joining us on this edition of the O-State Report. We're glad you're with us. I'm Mason Doherty. So when Jacob first started playing tennis, he really liked the fact that he could be independent on the court and not have to rely on other teammates, unlike his first sport, volleyball. Little did he know how much he would learn to love doubles more. 4 people were killed and 47 were injured. It will be months before we know exactly what caused the driver to do this. It's safe to say that the Pike members will be happy for moving from here to right here, where the new Pike House will be 32,500 square feet. Being an entrepreneur, you think the only thing you have to worry about is the product and the idea. But really, you also have to worry about how you can present that idea. Going into Oral Roberts on Wednesday, he was going in with a 10-game hitting streak, but that ended, and since then, he's gone 1 for 10. Now, that one hit, though, was a double that he had at his last at-bat yesterday, so I expect him to get out of this slump and be productive today. Now, I have to ask, with this being pretty much the final month of college football, what is your Big 12 prediction? How do you think it's all going to shake out? Well, thank you for tuning in to Countdown to Kickoff, our Bedlam edition. Enjoy Bedlam College Game Day coming in town to Stillwater. It's going to be a great one. Here at OSU, the Emenlo Library has been a famous landmark since 1953. Students come here to study all night to taking pictures at it for graduation. But for the first time, it's going through a major renovation, and it all starts at the top. It's known for its orange lights that light up throughout homecoming, but that's going to be put on hold. After an inspection 2 years ago, the stones on the bell tower were in a lot worse condition than expected.
So some of the stonework had hairline cracks in them, some of them had pits in them, there was lead paint on the facility.
The limestones were worn down from weathering. The stones will be replaced and filled in with new pins between them. There will also be a new bell and light system. The renovation will cost $1.8 million. But make no mistake, this renovation is not to take away from the traditional look of the library.
What we want to do is restore it to the 1950s look, so the last 60 years. We didn't change the look over the last 50 years, 60 years, but we want to restore it so it'll last another 50, 60 years before we do major maintenance.
It's important that OSU keeps an image to the library that everyone has been able to relate to for so many years.
Our campus itself has a look that people love and is very evocative of OSU, and the Emenlo Library embodies that.
Sadly, the bell tower will not be ready for homecoming. The construction is ahead of schedule though. The renovation is expected to be done by the end of December, but there is a 50-50 chance it can be done for fall commencement. For O-State TV, I'm Mason Doherty. We talked about how it began, where it's going in the future for Mason Rudolph.
They're going to bring 5. And Rudolph looking for room in the pocket. Gets loose. No one home for West Virginia. They all had their...
Cowboy fans have been treated well this season. They've seen a quarterback grow into a playmaker, and it all started so unexpectedly. The 1-year anniversary of you playing against Baylor. You know, last season you had the redshirt year, and that was cut off short. And sure enough, now you're starting, playing against Baylor in Waco. Tell me, what's going through your mind?
Last year it was kind of a hectic week. Kind of found out I was playing, I think, on a Monday, so a little early in the week. But it was a good week. I felt like it was definitely nerve-wracking just because it was your first one and you didn't know what it was going to be like, and you're playing a great team like Baylor.
At Northwestern High School in Rock Hill, South Carolina, Rudolph won the state championship his senior year. He also threw for 64 touchdowns and ran for 16 that season. Now, you've had a pretty good college career so far. Only 1 loss. You're undefeated against the Big 12 except for Baylor, of course. And you had a pretty good high school football career as well. Did you expect that winning mentality that you have to translate so easily from high school to college?
Just that winning attitude that you try to keep with you, and here it's just been a great experience to be around these coaches and these players who push you and try to get the best out of you.
But the spotlight hasn't been completely on Rudolph. Backup quarterback J.W. Walsh has assisted Rudolph with a duo combination. And when Walsh leaves after this season, where does that leave you?
It leaves me without a good friend in J-Dub. I'm sure he'll be moving on to whatever he's doing, but he's a great guy and someone I've had the pleasure of being able to meet and to hang out with these past couple of years. But it'll be it'll just be another chance for for me to come back and improve my game and look forward to the next year.
I have full confidence in him being the main guy next year. I mean, the one thing holding him back is the red zone reps. I get that. But with another offseason, more practice, and just seeing how J.W. Walsh does it, I have a lot of confidence in Rudolph going forward. After a tragedy comes healing. The OSU Human Resources Department is providing that healing process. Counseling is being offered to students, staff, and community residents following the tragic events last Saturday. It's located at the Career Services on the 3rd floor of the Student Union. Patients can see the dogs from Pete's Pet Posse before talking to someone.
The counseling has been very effective. We've had a great turnout.
The Student Council Services have teamed up with the Employee Assistance Program and ComPsych to supply counselors.
We do have counselors from all over the state of Oklahoma here working with us this week to help with the response.
Some of those counselors have come out of retirement this week to help the cause. The counseling services at OSU have dealt with tragedies in the past, but there's one key difference between this tragedy and the plane crashes from 2001 and 2011.
This one, we were here. We were at the parade. Our students, our community members, even first responders, police, firefighters, there were nurses there.
With the amount of people that saw or can relate to the crash, the counseling service is encouraging people to come in. It's a way to get out those feelings that might be trapped inside from experiencing a horrific event.
Before you can begin healing, you've got to grieve. And a lot of times what we do at this stage of an event like this is give people permission to grieve, give people permission to feel the feelings they're feeling.
Here at Career Services, extra counselors will be here next week as well for anyone that needs help. For O State TV, I'm Mason Doherty.